before y'all go, because what we've been going over right now, what we're trying to explain to y'all that we at war. You know what I'm saying? We at war. How are we at war? Because give me Psalms 82 and 83 and verse 1. When this world was created, you know, we were created to rule this whole earth. Come up, bro. Come up. The people that you see on this side right here, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, we were never created to be in the position that we in. Y'all know how we got in this position? How did we get here? How did this happen to us? Why do we have to go through all this slavery? When you look on the news, from 2015, from 2005 to 2022, you know how many black people have been killed by the police?
Right.
How many? Thousands of black people have been killed by the police.
Right.
How many of those people that killed us have went to jail? Maybe 2 or 3 of them. What's the dude named Ahmaud Arbery, the people that shot him, they just got sentenced to life. What you got?
When you're talking about black people, ancestors, whatever.
Right.
How did we get over here?
How did we get? That's a good question.
All right, go ahead.
But you know the answer?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
So we're going to show you how we get over here. But first because this is going to tie into how we got over here. Because I said we at war. And all this was created so the world was created so we can rule the world.
Right.
See what I'm saying? But what happened was, Deuteronomy 28:15. We'll come back to that. Read that.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So when Moses, y'all familiar with Moses and the Israelites, right? Y'all heard about it. Y'all ever watched the movie, what's the movie with, the 10 Commandments? Ain't it like a cartoon movie or something like that?
Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt. The Prince of Egypt, right? Y'all seen that movie before? Y'all never seen that movie? Man, where y'all childhood at? You ain't seen that movie? So in the Prince of Egypt, right, so Moses, what he did, he parted the Red Sea, right? And the people that he led across the Red Sea were these people right here. On this side, these are the names they gave us when we got to this side of the world. But when you in the Bible, when you see Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, the Judah today will be y'all, the so-called African Americans. Benjamin will be the Jamaicans. Levi will be the Haitians. So when you see these names in the Bible, these are the people that Moses freed from Egypt. What were the Israelites doing in Egypt? They were slaves in Egypt, up under the hand of Pharaoh. We built the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? We built all those treasures, not all of them, but we built some of those treasure cities in Egypt. So when you see cartoons or these hieroglyphics with people building the pyramids, guess who that was? That was us. So just like the Israelites built Egypt up, guess who built America up? No, ain't no aliens built the pyramid. That was us. We are those people. But why did that happen? He said, but it shall come to pass, if we didn't keep the commandments, that all these curses was going to happen to us. What are some of the curses that happened to us? Give me Deuteronomy 28:68. Because we broke God's commandments, that's a fact. That's what caused us to be brought to this side of the world. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Now, one of those curses, this is one of those curses, and this is the last curse in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So before the Israelites came out of Egypt, they were slaves in Egypt. Moses freed them from slavery, parted the Red Sea, they walked across. When they got to that side, he said, read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
They walked out of Egypt. Why would they have to go back into Egypt with ships? It wasn't talking about the literal Egypt, it was talking about America.
Right.
When did we get brought to America? Did we not get brought to America on slave ships?
Right.
1619. They brought us over here on them slave ships, and wherever them slave ships docked at, where it was Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, read it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way, wherever I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
We weren't going to see our homeland no more again, because where do we come from? A lot of people will say Africa, which is true, but we come from Israel. Israel is a part of Africa.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So he said, thou shalt see it no more again, read.
And there, ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Should be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
What happened when we got to this side of the world?
Okay, it's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when you say we was brought across with the different of the ships or whatever,
Right.
was it just us or was it these people? Where the other people at?
These are the same people.
Oh, same people.
These are the same people. But when you say, was it just us? Yes, because guess who name you don't see on here? You don't see Caucasians on here. You don't see Chinese people on here. You don't see Arabs on here.
Okay, watch this. And then we'll talk about white people that
Right.
we were slaves up under white people.
Right.
How did they get so much control over us?
How? The point you're missing, go back to Deuteronomy 28:15. How? 'Cause it's not the question is not how. No, the question is how they got control over us. But it's not because of them. The reason why that happened to us is because of our own actions.
Right.
Everything that the white man and all the other nations are doing to us today, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They are the weapon that God is using to punish us.
Right.
When we go outside of God's commandments, he bring the white man against us to shoot us down.
Right.
When you smoke weed, you're going to get arrested. When you beat your wife, you're going to get arrested. You see what I'm saying? So these people are put in place to punish us
Right.
when we go outside of God's commandments. The Chinese had us in slavery at one point in time. The Japanese, the East Indian, under Persia and the Medes, those were other nations that had us in slavery. All nations have had us in slavery at one point in time. But you know why that happened? Because we broke God's commandments. Likewise today. We go through what we go through today. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. So what do we have to do? What's the solution to this matter? Because I'll shake your hand, but my question to you, what's the solution? How do we fix it?
Do right and stay by God.
What does it mean to do right?
Do all your commitments right.
Today, what's today? Today is Saturday, right? Give me Exodus 20:8. These are the things that we got to learn. Because not keeping the commandments is what caused us to go into slavery. That's your wife?
Oh, yeah.
I got a question. I'm gonna show you something. Cause guess what? The Lord said His voices to the sons of men. So He gonna deal with the men first. Then He gonna start dealing with the woman.
Right.
You know, let me show you a commandment that you got to command in your own household. Give me Deuteronomy 20:25. Because you had a girl in your car with you too, right? All right. So let me read that.
Hold, let it get close.
Come on, sis.
It is.
Come on.
Speed up, God, like you do when you're in them clubs.
Say that. He said, speed up like you do in them clubs.
Y'all just look here.
Right. So, as we were going over, sis, your husband asked good questions. His question was, how and why were the white man allowed to do all this to us? And the answer was, we broke God's commandments, so God let another nation come in and destroy us as a nation of people, right? But that happened not because the white man was stronger than us, but because we disobeyed God's commandments. So in order for us to reverse the curses, what do we have to do? Be obedient to God's commandments. Before you can be obedient, what do you have to do? Learn God's commandments. And guess what? The Bible is not being taught in its proper context in the churches.
Right.
Hence is why you go to church on Sunday. When did the Lord tell us to go to church?
Bring it out.
On the Sabbath day, the 7th day of the week. And He said certain things we're supposed to do today that we don't do other day. Give me the Sabbath day first. We'll start with that. Now read Exodus 20:8.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath day.
Why did He tell us to remember? If you got to tell somebody to remember something, what did they do? They forgot it. We forgot the Sabbath day. This is the reason why you see all these Israelites that don't know they Israelites going in the store and buying on the Sabbath day. There was a time that we kept God's commandments. No stores were open on the Sabbath day. Everything was shut down and we were fellowshipping one with another. And guess what? We're going to get back to that. But before we can get to that, we got to go through this. We got to go through them hard times. We got to go through the rebuilding of the mind again. Because that's what we're doing right now. Remember, when we say remember, we're trying to bring back to your remembrance who you are.
Right.
We're not blacks, we're not African Americans, we're not niggas. We are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. We are the people that the world was created for.
Right.
And we got to come back to that. So read it again. He said what?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So from Sunday to Friday night, you can do everything you got to do as long as it's within God's laws.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We're not going to be out here stealing none of that, but you got to work. You got to provide for your family. You got to cook. You got to clean. You got to do all that. So 6 days from Sunday to Friday, you do all your work. Read.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
On the 7th day, we're not supposed to be working. No work is to be done on the Sabbath day. In order for that store to be open, people have to be working. So you know what that means? All the businesses are going to be shut down.
Right.
And it will come a time where those businesses get shut down on the Sabbath day. Read.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
Why did he say manservant, maidservant, and cattle? Do we have manservants, maidservants, or cattle today? We don't, right? But guess what? At one point in time, we did. And guess what? We're going to go back to that, to where we don't have to work. We don't have to get up and go to work. We're going to have to cook our food. We're going to have to clean our house. We're going to have servants to do that for us. You see what I'm saying? But in order for us to get back to that, we got to get back to this.
Right.
This is what we have been lacking. So on the Sabbath day, we're not supposed to be working. What else should we not be doing? Give me Nehemiah 10:31. Now, I'm just going to mention it. Nehemiah 10:31 said we're not supposed to be buying or selling. Exodus 16:23 said we're not supposed to be cooking. So you know what you got to do? The day before, you got to prepare the food that you're going to eat today.
Right.
Whether it be fried chicken, you got sandwiches, you got salad. It's a lot of stuff you can eat that you don't have to cook today. But you got to prepare beforehand. But the most important part, give me Leviticus 23:1, and then give me Hebrews 10:25. Hebrews 10:25. Give me Hebrews 10:25 first. Because before we can get to that point, what do we have to do? We got to gather ourselves together. Because the reason why a lot of people don't keep the Sabbath day, or the reason why it's hard for a lot of people to keep the Sabbath day, because a lot of people, they know we Israelites and they understand that. A lot of people have been studying. When we talk to people out here, oh, I'm an Israelite for 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. But they still doing the same thing. So how do we prevent that? How do we get to the point where with the understanding that we have, we got to start applying it? But how do we get to that point? Read that.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25.
We got to turn back to God, but this is what we need. Read.
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
A lot of people, when they learn the Bible, they like to stay by themselves. I know the lot. I understand it. I know we the Israelites. I know we this. I know we that. I know we got to keep God's commandment. But when you ask them, are you keeping God's commandment? What they say? No. Why? Read it from the top again.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
Because they forsake the assembling together. They take for granted when God say come together as a nation of people. If I wasn't around these brothers, I would more than likely be in all type of sin. It's a lot of things that if I'm by myself, I have nobody to check me.
Right.
When I'm going off, nobody to say, bro, what you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I see my brother look at a girl too long, bro. Guard your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Put a bar around your eyes. I see my sister looking at a man too long. Sis, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? We hold each other accountable.
Right.
Accountability comes within the assembly. That's why he said not forsaking the assembly of yourself together.
As the manner of some is. As the manner of some is.
The manner of some is those people that like to stay by themselves. The people that have been knowing for 10 years, they've been knowing in Israel, but they're not applying the commandments. Read.
But exhorting one another. But exhorting one another.
You can't exhort one another when you by yourself. Which is why it's imperative that you come to the school. Get around like-minded people, because we living in the last days. If y'all don't know.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.